All right, so today we are going to go ahead and cover Chapter 18, Diagnostic Coding. Diagnostic coding is going to be really important. You are going to need diagnostic coding in the back office or clinical back office when you are submitting lab requisitions or prior authorizations, etc. This type of coding. I don't know if I've told you guys before, to write down common codes and things that you utilize in your office, particular to your specialty or your facility in general, for usage throughout, your job duties. So it's going to be really good that, any facility that you're working at, that you write down the common ones that you're using. Okay, so we're going to get into detail what diagnostic coding is. Your first objective is to recall the 6 ways that ICD-10 codes are used today. We should be able to also compare ICD-9 with ICD-10 codes. Back in the day when we first started, we used to use ICD-9 codes. I used to know a whole different set of codes. And then we changed on over to ICD-10 because, they're a little more descriptive and a little more in detail. We'll get into that. Your third objective here is describe the conventions used in ICD-10. Your fourth objective is to outline the steps to code a diagnosis using the ICD-10 CM. Your fifth objective is to explain the purpose and uses of external cause of injury and health status codes. Your objective 6 is to illustrate unique coding applications for your neoplasms, diabetes mellitus, fractures, signs and symptoms, poisonings, and your Z codes. So your first objective, the reason for diagnostic codes. Okay, so ICD stands for the International Classification of Diseases. This is what ICD stands for, so you might want to go ahead and write that down. You're going to want to know what that is. And then you have your description of presenting medical problems. This is usually listed as your chief complaints. Okay. So your ICD-10 codes are used for 1, making payments for medical services that were efficient. 2, evaluating patient use of healthcare facilities. 3, studying healthcare costs, researching quality of care, predicting healthcare trends, and 6, planning for future healthcare needs. Okay, so each diagnosis is assigned a code, okay, and this code is assigned to the diagnoses for payments and for data collection primarily as well. Okay, your ICD-10 codes are maintained by WHO, the World Health Organization of the United Nations. An ICD-10 coding system established, originally ICD coding was established to track morbidity, which is disease, and mortality, which is death statistics. Remember, I told you all this data we're putting into these electronic health records are being watched and collected. Okay. So your second objective here in chapter 18 is going to be basic comparison of ICD-9 and 10. And what that means is it's pretty much just letting you know what's different and what's the same about it, okay? So like I said, when I first started, we were using ICD-9 CM. And it needed to be replaced because it was, at that point in time, 30 years old. The terminology used in classification of some conditions were outdated or even just obsolete. The outdated codes were producing inaccurate and limited data with the increasing lack of specificity. So like we couldn't get too specific on things. We couldn't really get the whole picture, right? Structural changes took place, but hierarchy was maintained. There were organizational revisions and new features added. Specifics specificity, I can't have a hard time saying that word, sorry, and detail were significantly expanded, and some chapters were just restructured. The certain diseases were reclassified to reflect current medical knowledge, right? Because things change as knowledge expands and science improves, etc. Your alpha characters are no longer case sensitive. It used to be capital A meant something different, etc. Lowercase, etc. There are now full code titles with no references back to the common fourth and fifth digits. There has now been an addition of sixth and seventh characters in some chapters, such as obstetrics, injuries, external causes of injury. Placeholder of X is used as the fifth character for some 6-character codes, and this allows for future expansion, or for you to expand on the code and get a little even more deeper down the line, months of follow-up, etc. There are combination codes, and these are for conditions and common symptoms. Your combination codes are used for poisonings and external causes. Okay, so your you still have the alphabetic index and your tabular list. There are 21 chapters. The characters and specificity is, determined by the category or rubric. This is usually 3 letters long. Your subcategory is 4 to 5 characters long, and then your final code altogether can be up to 7 characters. If you don't have a number or a code specific enough and you need to expand on it, like I said, with follow-up appointments, etc., then you use the X as that placeholder. So your conventions are basic guidelines for ICD-10. Okay, this is your third objective. We're just going to go ahead and give you an overview of ICD-10, okay, because this is what you guys are going to use. Last slide was just comparison of the old to the new. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into it because then it differs from the point, I guess I would say. So basic guidelines in the ICD-10 consist of abbreviations, punctuation, symbols, typefaces, and instructional notes. The alphabetic index consists of 1, the index of disease and injury, 2, the index of external causes of injury, and 3, table of neoplasms. 4 is your table of drugs and chemicals. The tabular list will contain categories, subcategories, and codes with letter or number characters. Categories, again, are 3 characters, and subcategories are 4 to 5 characters. And then a code that has an applicable 7th character is invalid without the 7th character. So if it needs a 7th character and the 7th character is not on there, it's invalid. The decimal does not count as a character. So when you're doing coding, your decimal does not count as a character. Your abbreviation, NEC, means not elsewhere classified. That's going to be really important. Okay. However, the ICD-10-CM contains codes to classify most all conditions. The alphabetic index will use NEC to mean the coder should go to the tabular list to find another more specific code description. All right, so your objective 4, coding with the ICD-10. So when you're coding with ICD-10, multiple codes are going to be needed for sequela, complication codes, and obstetric codes to fully describe the condition. If the same condition is described as both acute, subacute, and chronic, and separate subentries exist in the alphabetic index at the same indentation level, code both the sequence and the acute code first. A combination code is used to classify 2 diagnoses or a diagnosis with an associated complication. For an unclear diagnosis of impending or threatened, there are codes available in the alphabetic index. The principal diagnosis is defined by the Uniform Hospital Discharge Data Set and is used in a hospital setting when the problem was studied before the diagnosis was actually assigned. In the outpatient settings, the term used is primary diagnoses, and this denotes the reason the patient was seen. Secondary diagnoses would be determined as other problems noted during the outpatient visit. ICD-10 caused a shift in diagnoses related groups related to IP coding, since the expanded diagnoses will allow now for a higher weighted diagnoses related group. Your objective 5, external cause of injury and health status codes. So your health status codes are going to be your Z codes. Okay, so this replaces what used to be V codes. Okay, patients are pretty much basically healthy. This is going to be for like your well child checkups, your annual physical exam, etc. Okay, so codes in the categories Z00 through Z13 are only for encounters for routine examinations, and they are not to be used for examinations for the diagnoses of a condition or for treatment purposes. The codes in this category are just status codes, and this just reports that the patient has a residual condition from a previous disease or is the carrier of a specific disease. Z55 through 65 codes report problems related to literacy, education, employment, occupational exposure, risk factors, things like housing circumstances, social environment, maybe primary support group, and other psychosocial issues. So things that, like your mine worker, maybe psychosocial issues, like maybe you were adopted, and you have, abandonment issues, kind of a thing. So with the shift to the ICD-10, homicide is now considered assault. Suicide is now termed intentional self-harm. Details of a drowning will include the type of water involved, such as a bathtub, swimming pool, and lake. Poisoning details are less than in the ICD-9. The ICD-10 classifies accidents by the type of transport involved, such as pedestrian, bicyclist, and automobile. Bites and stings of the ICD are now in contact with. Okay, so bites and bee stings that were in ICD-9, that's what they were labeled under. Now they're considered the verbiage as in contact with for ICD-10. Your U01 through U03 allow for coding terrorism death in the ICD-10. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this book together, and we're going to go through some of these, okay? That way we can get you a really good look at it. So objective 6 here, the unique coding applications for your neoplasms, etc. Okay, this is kind of going to get into your chapters. We're going to start in on your chapters. Chapter 1 of your ICD-10 contains codes for the diseases that are generally recognized as communicable or transmissible. This is going to include HIV disease and AIDS, sepsis, formerly known as septicemia, and MRSA. Chapter 2 of your ICD-10 code book contains codes for most benign and all malignant neoplasms. Chapter 3 is going to contain codes formerly found in chapters 1 through 4 of the previous ICD-9, but are now presented with more specifics. Chapter 4 of all of the ICD-10 contains combination codes for diabetes mellitus, insulin dependent and non-insulin dependent in reference to diabetes mellitus are no longer part of this code set. Okay, and you also see that they reference letters. So chapter 1 is going to be your A00 through B99 codes. Your chapter 2 is going to be your neoplasms as described, and that's C00 through D49. Chapter 3 is going to start at D50 through D89, and etc. Okay. So continuing on, your chapter 5 contains codes for mental and behavioral disorders, including unique codes for alcohol and drug use. Chapter 6 of your ICD-10 contains codes for pain of various natures. Chapter 7 in the ICD-10 is completely new, but contains codes from the ICD-9 chapter 6. Terminology has changed as we've gone on, right? So for example, senile is now considered age-related. Chapter 8 of your ICD-10 is also new and is more specific in identifying which ear is affected. Your chapter 9 of the ICD-10 contains codes for hypertension and heart disease. Chapter 10 is codes for asthma, sinusitis, and pneumonia. Chapter 11 is going to contain new sections to code diseases of your liver, gallbladder, biliary tract, and pancreas. Chapter 12 contains codes for staging pressure ulcers. Chapter 13 is codes for multiple sites of joints, bones, and muscles that are involved. Your chapter 14 of your ICD-10 contains codes for stages of chronic kidney disease. Chapter 15 through 17 of ICD-10 contains conditions surrounding your pregnancy, the perinatal period, and congenital malformations of your newborn, chromosomal abnormalities, etc. Chapter 18 of ICD-10 describes less well-defined conditions, whereas more investigation into your symptoms is still actually occurring. An example would be repeated falls, and a reason is not necessarily actually determined. We might have to run some MRIs. We might have to get some blood work done. We might have to look into some other things, right? Your coma scores are also in this category as well. Most of the codes in Chapter 19 will have the 7th character assigned. So A, the initial counter, D is going to be your subsequent encounter, or S is going to be a sequela, or a sequence of events, right? Fracture coding in Chapter 19 is even more specific with alpha characters used in the 7th space. Chapter 20 of the ICD-10 contains codes which capture how the injury or the health condition actually happened, maybe the intent, where the event occurred, the activity of the patient at the time of the event, and the person's status as to whether they were civilian or military. And I'm going to show you a couple of funny one of those. Generally, codes from Chapter 20 are not required, but they do provide additional information, more data collection, right? Better scenario interpretation, etc., planning for the future. The final chapter of which is 21 contains codes which represent reasons for the encounters. This is commonly known as your Z codes. Included in here are your DNR, do not resuscitate orders, identification of blood type, and your vaccinations. So again, these are going to be your annual wellness exam codes, etc. Okay, and that's pretty much your ICD-10 coding book in a nutshell. Okay, so here we have our chapter summary. So your ICD codes are used for reimbursement of medical services and to track trends affecting cost and quality. Your ICD-10 CM significantly more specific and updated than your ICD-9, right? That was the comparison, just more updated, more specific, more in-depth, more detailed. Your conventions used in ICD-10 serve as guidelines. Your conventions are guidelines on how you're going to go ahead and find your code. Your steps to code a diagnosis using your ICD-10 begin in your alphabetic index. Okay, you have to start in the alphabetic index and then go to your tabular or your chapter. Your external cause of injury and health status codes, these help to supplement other codes. And then, of course, your unique coding applications for your neoplasms, diabetes, fractures, signs and symptoms, poisonings, and Z codes are all now part of the new ICD-10. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me at ejaramillo.pmi.edu. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys later. Have a good night.